What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. So today I actually want to discuss accessible seating and the different things that I experience because of it. So first and foremost, the misuse of accessible seating can get to be ridiculous. If you are a frequent traveler like I used to be before COVID started, you may have noticed at the front of buses and then in some metro cars and some train cars, there actually is spots specifically for people with disabilities and bikes, elderly, things like that. Now, a lot of times they get misused. A lot. For instance, one of the things that I've noticed, especially riding the train, I understand, your bags get heavy and you're on your way to work and you just want to relax. You want to get through that last email that you have for the morning or whatever. But if somebody comes in needing those seats, you gotta move. Because, no. Just because they're at the front does not mean that they're for everybody. Because trust me, it actually says when they're for people with disabilities. I'm just saying. So there's actually written, reserved for wheelchairs, people with disabilities, elderly, yada yada yada, all that fun stuff. I personally have noticed people just refusing to move because they are comfortable and just say fuck it and they don't want to leave. Or my personal favorite, I have pain too, or I have issues too. If especially, this happened to me specifically on the bus a few years back, and to this day I still hate telling this story. I hate this woman so much, because when you first get on a bus, you have, when you're like me, you have two options, one side or the other. And with the buses, the front seats actually move up to make space for a person in a wheelchair, which I think is really cool. And I had two options. Because they were both taken, I had two options. One, move this lady who was clearly in her 30s or 40s and just looked perfectly fine, whatever. Or move the nice, sweet, elderly lady who has a cane and is in her 60s or 70s. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and move the elderly lady. That's not what I would do. No, I was going to move. I asked the nice lady who was in her 30s or 40s if she would please move, because I needed the spot, because I needed to put my chair in. Oh, but I have knee problems. I can't move. No, the woman just wanted to be able to get out first, because she actually was going to the train station and, of course, wanted to be one of the first people off the bus, because even before the bus left, or even before the bus got to the train station, she went up to the front and walked perfectly fine and whatnot. So the poor elderly lady, just to make sure that a scene was not caused, got up and moved. I cannot believe somebody would be that rude to make an elderly person move out of that spot. That's not okay. Anyways, I'm sidetracking here, but still, it drives me nuts. Now, the other part that I want to talk about is accessible seating not always being the best option. And for that, I'm talking about going to sporting events, going to the movies, going to a concert, things like that. Now, I personally love the movies. personally love going to sports games. So I've experienced going, especially to the movies. Oh, you know, what in the world would make a movie theater think that a person in a wheelchair would not only want to be sitting this close to a movie screen, but also having to look up? Like, there are some theaters that have not been remodeled properly, and the accessible seating is the very first seat. No. I mean, and when I say that, I mean, like, it's right smack there. It's ridiculous. It's not, like, that's not safe at all. It's not safe really for anyone, but it's definitely not safe for people with disabilities. And I'm talking, I can't think of the actual disability right now, but the light sensitive and the sound sensitive. Drop in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Especially my disabled community, y'all know what I'm talking about, but I can't think of it. Please help me out here. But if it's right, I mean, it's one thing for them to be going to the movies and having that, so obviously they might not go to it, or they just might not know, so they would probably go and be like, oh, I shouldn't be watching this, and they can walk out and whatever. But, just, it's a whole other thing for the theater to, no. Like, first of all, we could hurt our necks, and we're already hurting from our disabilities, from our injuries, whatever. We don't need the extra pain, people. We really don't. So it'd be nice if places like that could actually think about things like that. It absolutely drives me nuts. Then the other part of it is, I've also been to sporting events. Now, yes, at sporting events, they actually do put the people in wheelchairs. I'm talking about people in wheelchairs specifically now. But they do have a section most of the time for people with disabilities further back, which I think is fantastic, because then you're able to look down and see everything. And I love that. My issue that I've experienced with that, unfortunately, is every once in a while, depending on the place that you go, there will still be people in front of you or right in front of you who stand up. And then you can't see nothing. It would just be nice if the world could be more handicap accessible and think about where they place things for people with disabilities, just so that they can enjoy life just like everybody else. Honestly, that's all we want. That is realistically and seriously all we want, is just to be able to go out and do anything and everything that everyone else in the world does already. Why in the world does the world have to make things more difficult than they already are for people with disabilities? Somebody please explain that one to me, because I don't get it. I really don't. As you watch my videos, guys, just keep in mind, I am a disabilities advocate, obviously, which is why I'm trying to make these videos. And in my future videos, y'all are going to be seeing a lot more of things that I feel like the world could be doing differently, and ways that I think the world could change to make this world just a better place for people with disabilities. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please, please, please leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Seriously, if you disagree with me, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your comments. And if it starts a debate, cool. Let's see what happens. Have a good night, guys.